On the vast seas, where the water reflects the bright sunlight and the waves are constantly rolling, modern tuna fishing boats begin their journeys at dawn. Before setting sail, the captain and crew must carefully prepare all equipment: GPS satellite positioning system, sonar, fish scanning radar, deep-sea sounders, cold storage systems, cables, trawl nets and even automatic fishing rods. All are thoroughly checked to ensure safety and maximum efficiency during the fishing process. When the boat leaves the port, the navigation equipment is activated. The boat begins to glide on the deep blue water, heading towards deep-sea areas rich in tuna potential such as the North Atlantic, Pacific Ocean or off the coast of Norway and Japan. As soon as they reach the fishing grounds, the crew will deploy a modern fish finding system. Underwater sonar devices emit sound signals. Transmitting hundreds of meters deep to search for feedback signals from schools of fish. When the system detects a school of mackerel, a fish that swims in schools and moves very quickly, the captain immediately adjusts the ship's direction, lowering a giant purse seine from the deck into the sea in a semicircle or circle. The net can be hundreds of meters long, controlled by cranes and automatic pulleys, and has a system of buoys that keep the mouth of the net open above the water, while heavy weights pull the bottom of the net deep. Once the net encircles the mackerel, the crew will gradually pull the net back using a hydraulic reel system, slowly gathering the school of fish. The mackerel are gradually drawn into the middle, struggling in the net, and when enough are gathered, people will use vacuum tubes or small nets to pull each batch of fish onto the ship. This whole process must be done quickly because the mackerel are easily scratched and lose quality if squeezed too long in the net. Once the fish are brought onto deck, the sorting and preliminary processing begins. A group of sailors stand by a long conveyor belt system running along the ship's hull, using gloves and specialized knives to remove dead and substandard fish. Fresh tuna are immediately put into a deep freeze compartment with a sub-zero temperature to preserve the quality of the meat. On some modern ships, tuna are also frozen immediately after being caught using a quick freezer or are put through an automatic vacuum packaging line. Thanks to modern technology, the entire process from when the fish leave the ocean until they are preserved only takes a few minutes, helping to preserve the freshness of the fish meat. During the fishing period, a system of sensors and surveillance cameras always monitor every stage to ensure efficiency and avoid loss. Sailors must also constantly update data on water flow. Water temperature, and fish school movement to adjust fishing strategies. When the ship's hold is full or after a few days at sea, the ship will return to port. Immediately after docking, the fish are unloaded by refrigerated cranes and transported to processing plants or seafood wholesale markets. The process of catching mackerel on modern boats is not only a race against time and technology, but also a delicate combination of technique, seafaring experience and sensitivity to nature. Each mackerel, after being caught, processed and preserved properly, will become a valuable source of ingredients for delicious dishes around the world. From sashimi, Japanese grilled mackerel to Vietnamese braised mackerel, behind each piece of fish is an arduous journey. where humans conquer the ocean with intelligence and modern technology, not only stopping at exploitation. Modern tuna fishing vessels today also integrate digital data management systems to control output and monitor environmental impact. Each haul is automatically recorded with coding, quantity, weight, coordinates caught, fishing time, even hydrological conditions at that time. This data is sent by satellite to the parent company's headquarters on land, where experts analyze the data to plan consumption and coordinate fishing vessels. With strict compliance with international regulations on marine and fishing ground conservation. Each vessel has a production limit and fishing time. If the limit is exceeded or fishing in a prohibited area, the warning system will send a signal to the vessel to stop operating. In addition, some vessels are also equipped with devices to repel non-target species such as dolphins, seabirds or turtles to limit side effects and preserve ocean biodiversity. On deck, the cruise life is fast-paced. Continuous and challenging. Working hours without a break. In the vast ocean, strong winds and high waves are normal. In the engine room, marine engineers constantly check the cooling system and main engine to ensure the ship operates stably. In the cockpit, the captain monitors the nautical map, adjusting the ship's speed and direction to optimize time and fuel. In the hold, the refrigerated compartments filled with mackerel are neatly arranged, layered with thermal insulation to ensure the quality of the fish meat is not affected during the journey back to the mainland. There are trips lasting up to several weeks in the middle of the ocean. The crew must eat and sleep right on the ship, taking shifts 24/7, working and keeping watch over safety. Every sunset or sunrise in the middle of the ocean, they have rare moments of rest with a hot bowl of rice, looking out at the horizon. Quietly feeling the meaning of the seafaring profession. When the ship returns to port, in addition to delivering cargo, the crew must also clean the entire deck, disinfect the hold, maintain equipment and prepare for the next fishing trip. There are modern ships that operate in a continuous model: fishing, processing, freezing, packaging, and then transferring directly to a refrigerated container to the factory, saving time, reducing transportation costs and ensuring that the tuna reaches consumers with almost freshly caught freshness. All of this creates a closed, industrialized fishing system but still requires precision, discipline and dedication from each person working in the profession. Tuna is not only a simple commercial product but also the crystallization of human effort, sweat and intelligence when facing the harsh ocean. And thanks to modern fishing processes, mackerel today is not only present on the dinner table but also represents a great step forward for global fisheries. Where humans both exploit and conserve, both conquer the ocean and preserve sustainable life for future generations. In addition to technology and skills, weather and environmental factors also play a key role in each mackerel fishing trip. Before departure, the onshore team regularly updates meteorological forecasts from global satellite centers, analyzes data on ocean currents, water surface temperature, salinity and wind speed to determine the most ideal time to set sail. Mackerel tend to gather in sea areas with temperatures between 10 and 15 degrees Celsius, where there is abundant bait and oxygen-rich water. If the sea is rough or a tropical depression forms, the captain is forced to change direction or temporarily stop fishing to ensure the safety of the entire ship and crew. When the ship is operating in the middle of the ocean and suddenly encounters a storm, the entire crew must immediately pull in the net, lock the equipment, switch to dynamic anchor mode or find a way to avoid the eye of the storm. In those moments, the survival experience of the seafarer is truly demonstrated. There are storms that make the ship sway. Waves hit the deck. Salt water pours into the faces of each person, making it difficult for them to open their eyes. But no matter what, they still steadfastly cling to the ship, hold the net, and protect tons of precious fish they have just caught. Such trips are not only a story of survival but also an epic between humans and the ocean. After each fishing season, the ship will be brought to the workshop for an overhaul. The hull is cleaned of barnacles. The propeller is oiled. Worn parts are replaced. The electronic system is upgraded with software. All to prepare for the next fishing season. New technical innovations such as artificial intelligence, purse seine automation, self-navigation systems according to fish currents, or real-time data analysis models are increasingly being widely applied on modern ships, helping to reduce labor, increase efficiency and reduce risks. At the same time, the factor of protecting the marine environment is also put first. Modern ships are designed to save fuel, reduce CO2 emissions, limit plastic waste and always carry floating garbage collection equipment at sea. Some ships even integrate solar panels to power auxiliary systems, contributing to building a green and sustainable fishing model. The tuna fishing industry, which once relied solely on artisanal fishermen, has now become an important link in the global food supply chain, where each tuna not only represents economic value but also symbolizes the evolution of technology. Ecological awareness and human aspirations to reach further in the ocean. Every time you hold a tray of frozen tuna in your hand, few people can imagine that behind it is a whole journey of great effort, from deep-sea fish finders, to sailors working day and night in storms, to super-fast cooling systems, to modern ships running on clean energy. It is not just food, it is the result of intelligence, sweat and trade-offs. It is a reminder that in every delicious piece of mackerel on the dinner table, there is an entire ocean that is living, contributing and also in need of preservation, and for that reason, international organizations such as the FAO, Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, the MSC, Marine Stewardship Council, or fishing associations in each country have issued many sets of sustainable fishing standards to control and regulate mackerel fishing activities on a global scale. Modern ships that want to continue going to sea must strictly comply with these regulations, from annual fishing quotas, permitted operating areas, mackerel spawning seasons, to the size of nets used. to avoid catching young fish and causing population decline. A ship that violates the standards can have its operating rights revoked, its products refused to be purchased, or its packaging labeled sustainable, which is currently the gold standard in the seafood export industry. Therefore, on modern tuna fishing vessels, there are not only mechanical engineers and skilled fishermen, but also marine biologists, who are responsible for recording fishing logs, confirming yields, monitoring ecosystems and sending regular reports to the Fisheries Management Center. All are aimed at building a closed, transparent cycle, which can trace the origin of each fish from the ocean to the supermarket. When the tuna is brought to land, its journey is not over yet. Large-scale seafood processing factories will receive it, continue to classify it by size, meat quality, freshness, then divide it into separate lines: whole fish frozen for export, fish fillets for canned food, sliced fish for restaurants, or cold-pressed for sushi, sashimi. The remaining parts such as heads, bones, skin are also used as raw materials for processing animal feed, fish oil or cosmetics. No part of the fish is wasted throughout the process. All information is digitized. Each tray of fish is attached with a QR code so that customers can trace back to which boat caught it, on what day, at what coordinates, in what temperature conditions and at what depth. That is the powerful transformation of modern fishing, where consumers not only buy fish, but also buy transparency, peace of mind and trust. Today's fishing ecosystem is no longer the solitary journeys of fishermen at sea, but has become a global chain, from oceanographic research centers, marine technology companies, shipyards, positioning equipment suppliers, processing plants to distribution corporations and end consumers. Each stage is closely related to each other, promoting each other's development, while together facing common challenges such as climate change, ocean pollution, resource depletion and food security. In that context, modern tuna fishing is no longer just an economic activity, but has become part of a global strategy for sustainable development. And the people who work in the profession, from sailors to engineers, from captains to processing plants, are all pioneers in that war, a war to both feed the world and preserve the ocean for future generations. On that journey, each modern tuna fishing boat not only carries the hope of making a living but also takes on responsibility for nature, society and the future. The vast, fierce but also tolerant ocean has given humans the best things, and humans, with their hands, minds and hearts, are trying to give back to the ocean with respect, technology and deep gratitude. In this constant movement, technological innovations continue to shape the future of deep-sea mackerel fishing. Shipping companies are investing heavily in artificial intelligence, AI, to optimize fish school identification. By analyzing satellite imagery, sonar data and underwater cameras, AI systems can learn to recognize the unique signals of mackerel, such as movement patterns. School density, swimming speed, and make accurate predictions about the best fishing locations in real time. This not only increases productivity but also reduces the number of unnecessary costs, thereby reducing fuel waste and ecological impact. Specialized drones are also being installed on some large fishing vessels. They are launched to capture images from above, monitor the sea surface and help ships observe large areas of water without having to travel there directly, saving precious time and fuel. Some technologies are even testing the model of unmanned fishing vessels, ships that are fully powered by AI, remotely controlled or pre-programmed, and operate autonomously from catching, storing to returning to shore. Although there are still many legal, technical and ethical barriers, the prospect shows that the tuna fishing industry is gradually entering a completely new era. Where people can minimize direct risks in the open sea while still maintaining an efficient seafood supply chain. Along with technology, the human element still plays a core role in this value chain. No machine can replace the experience of captains who have spent decades struggling with the waves to understand when the fish schools are rising, where the water is rich in nutrients, or when to pull in the nets so as not to catch young fish that are not yet of sufficient weight. No algorithm can replace the coordination of a skilled crew, people who know how to cast nets, classify fish, operate machinery, and troubleshoot problems in the dark of night in the middle of the ocean. It is the combination of human intelligence and modern technology that creates the special strength of today's tuna fishing. In rare moments of peace, when the sun sets below the red horizon and the sea becomes as smooth as a giant mirror, sailors often stand by the ship's railing, looking far away towards home. They tell each other about the last trip, about the schools of tuna so big that they tore the nets, or the storms that seemed like they would never pass. They smile, they are silent, and they understand that they are contributing to a great mission, not simply catching fish to feed their families, but also to feed a whole chain of industries behind: traders, processors, transporters, consumers. Just like that. From the white-capped whale.